We're talking about incorporating cover crops into your garden and the roles that they play. The next role we want to highlight is that of nitrogen fixation. So certain plants, most often legumes, but not always, partner in a symbiotic relationship with bacteria such as rhizobium, which are capable of pulling nitrogen out of the air. So these bacteria colonize the root zones of certain plants, and legumes grow these little nodules on their roots that rhizobium can colonize. And something very interesting happens there. The plants produce carbon-based sugars through photosynthesis, and they exude some of those carbon-based sugars from their roots in a liquid form, and rhizobium can feed freely off of that carbon. And so legumes and the few other plants that also fix nitrogen are providing housing and food at their root zone down in the rhizosphere for rhizobium and other nitrogen-fixing bacteria. Okay, so what do the plants get in exchange? Well, the rhizobium is capable of pulling nitrogen out of the air, atmospheric nitrogen. And as you may know, nitrogen is the primary fertilizer needed for plants. So being able to pull nitrogen out of thin air is like absolutely pure magic. Now that nitrogen accumulates in the roots of the nitrogen fixing plants, but also in the structure of the plants all the way up. And so if you then return those plants to the soil, either through chop and drop, cutting the plants at the soil level and laying them down as mulch on the surface, or if you just chop those plants down and you throw them in your compost pile, you've now got a net positive nitrogen in your system. If you grow enough nitrogen fixers, then you never need to add nitrogen in any form at all to your garden. So what are some plants that are good for this? Any legume. So this is going to be your beans and your peas. If you grow snap peas, snow peas, you can chop and drop all the vines afterwards as pea straw. This will have accumulated nitrogen in it. If you grow cowpeas, are a classic. If you grow alfalfa, if you grow fenugreek, if you grow clover, any of these accumulate nitrogen. You can also grow buckwheat, which is not a legume, but it does fix nitrogen. You can grow field peas, forage peas, Austrian winter peas, any of this kind of stuff. If you're looking for a full list, head to our website, learndirt.com, search for cover crops. You're going to find a whole bunch of lists and all sorts of information about using these. And then you can also search for nitrogen fixation, and you'll find some articles specifically on pulling nitrogen out of the air and getting it into your soil through these nitrogen fixing cover crops.